Hope you guys are having a fantastic week after a great weekend. I hope you didn't lose any money with Silicon Valley Bank. Chris, did you have any money in SVB? No comment? Okay. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show. It's already starting to have some trickle effect, but don't worry. Joe Biden came out this morning. He had plenty to say about it, and he wanted to make sure that in circus world that you guys felt safe. Because here in circus world, you know, the monkeys may be running the show, but there's always a plan. There's always a plan. So let's play a little bit of Joe Biden, what he had to say this morning. Let's skip on down to the first clip you got there. Is that the Joe Biden accountability? Let's play it.
Second, the management of these banks will be fired. If the bank is taken over by FDIC, the people running the bank should not work there anymore. Third, investors in the banks will not be protected. They knowingly took a risk, and when the risk didn't pay off, investors lose their money. That's how capitalism works. And fourth, there are important questions of how these banks got into the circumstance in the first place. We must get the full accounting of what happened and why those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law.
Okay. Now, don't forget, they're going to do some bailouts for the people. He said no taxpayer that had money with Silicon Valley Bank, no taxpayer is going to feel the repercussions of this. So they're willing to bail out these businesses, these big tech startups and all that. And there's some small businesses in there too. So I don't want to be callous and cold here. But there were some people who made some really bad business decisions here. That just on an elementary term, what happened. But again, don't worry. Joe Biden wants to make sure that you rest assured that though billions of dollars have been lost, management will be fired. Management will be fired. Maybe they can go work at the Chick-fil-A where they're basically hiring anybody with a pulse at this point. But yeah, so don't worry about it, guys. Oh, and don't forget, listen, do not worry. I do not want you guys worrying that today there's massive trading that was halted as dozens of banks, you know, their shares fell by up to 75%. That was, you know, Western Alliance Bancorp, their stock price dropped by 3/4. First Republic Bank, they dived 67%. PacWest Bancorp, they plunged more than 35%. There was Wells Fargo down 7.5%. Bank of America 7.5%. Citigroup 5.8%. J.P. Morgan 2.7%. But don't worry. Listen, you don't have to worry about it. Listen, COVID wasn't created in a lab. The vaccines are completely safe. Feel free to get on a freight train going across Ohio. You have nothing to worry about. Drink the water in Jackson, Mississippi, and Flint, Michigan, and the banks are perfectly okay. The government said so. You don't have to worry about anything. The government said it's okay. Joe didn't want to answer any questions about that when he was pressed. Play that clip.
That's what swift action that my administration over the past few years is all about. Protecting depositors, protecting the banking system, protecting the economic gains we've made together for the American people. Thank you, God bless you, and may God protect our troops. See you in California.
Mr. President, what do you know right now about why this happened? And can you assure Americans that there won't be a ripple effect?
Do you expect other banks to fail, Mr. President?
You go. I love it when you have a man who can't walk upstairs to get on his airplane talking about swift action on the part of his administration. I mean, there's nothing suspect about any of that. Here in Circus World, you don't have to worry about anything like that. But listen, you have nothing to worry about because at the end of the day, we all know that it's Trump's fault. It really is. Joe Biden said so. Play that clip.
During the Obama-Biden administration, we put in place tough requirements on banks like Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, including the Dodd-Frank law to make sure that the crisis we saw in 2008 would not happen again. Unfortunately, the last administration rolled back some of these requirements. I'm going to ask Congress and the banking regulators to strengthen the rules for banks to make it less likely this kind of bank failure would happen again.
So people didn't know what they were doing with their money when they put it in. They don't understand how FDIC works. They don't understand how the federal government, which should be actually the last bank you want to deal with, is the federal government. But you didn't know how any of that stuff worked. You took the risk, and then people made some really stupid decisions, and then there was a massive run on the bank, and yet, that's right. Trump wanted to roll back regulations so that you guys could actually take responsibility for your own stuff and, do things with some freedom. But no, Joe Biden wants to make sure that you know that his administration now is going to put the regulations and more rules in place so this doesn't happen again. Screw your money, screw your freedom, screw your ability to make a wise decision. Some other people completely effed up, but you're going to pay the price. Don't you forget it. So here we are. Your money is safe. You have nothing to worry about. Oh, and listen, Joe even said your money is safe. In fact, go ahead and play that clip.
Today, thanks to the quick action of my administration over the past few days, Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them.
Yeah.
Small businesses across the country, the deposit accounts at these banks can breathe easier knowing they'll be able to pay their workers and pay their bills. And their hardworking employees can breathe easier as well.
Breathe easy. You can breathe easy. Y'all breathing easy? Y'all breathing easy? I feel good right now. I mean, like, paint me up like a clown and put a smile on my face. I'm breathing easy. I kind of feel like we're living in an episode of South Park. I kind of feel like we're living in an episode of South Park where, well, you know what? I'll tell you what let's do. Let's just snap our fingers and in real time, let's let South Park interpret for you what's happening with American banks.
Stan, now more than ever, you need to understand the importance of saving money.
But Grandma said I could use this money to buy whatever I want.
Okay, next please. How can I help you, young man?
I got a $100 check from my grandma, and my dad said I need to put it in the bank so it can grow over the years.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
What's all gone?
The money in your account. It didn't do too well. It's gone.
What do you mean? I have $100.
Not anymore, you don't. Poof.
Well, what can I do to get back
I'm sorry, sir, but this line is for bank members only.
I just opened an account.
Do you have any money invested with this bank?
No, you just lost it all.
Then please stand aside for people who actually have money with us. Next, please.
Hey!
Hello, Mrs. Farnickel. How are you today? Making a deposit, are we? Great. We can just put that into your retirement account and make it go to work for you, and it's gone.
What?
Sorry, yeah, that's gone. Please step aside for people who actually have money with the bank. Next, please.
Dad!
Hey, I'm trying to teach my son the importance of savings. You already lost his money? Oh, Mr. Marsh, don't worry. We can just transfer money from your account into a portfolio with your son, and it's gone! This line is for people who have money with the bank only. Please step aside.
There you go. I love my favorite line in that whole deal. Poof.